Hello again, it's Bob, and we are getting ready for another edition of TTM Then and Now, hanging out in the card closet where we dig out the stuff that we send out for the now part of our TTM Then and Now. And we start looking back at things we got either through the mail in the 1980s when I started this hobby with my brother, and then some things maybe we got at card shows or the Hall of Fame we went to a lot. So I have a couple of things today. It's the big cat, Johnny Mize, right? Johnny Mize, Hall of Famer, played for St. Louis, played for the New York Giants, played for the New York Yankees. And of course, this is a Hall of Fame plaque my brother and I would have picked up when we went to the Hall of Fame inductions like we did so many years. We talk about it a lot, but that's a cool signature. And here is one I got through the mail. The first time around doing it in the early 1980s, I would send to guys, mostly retired players, and a cool 3x5. But TTM Mike 2040 on one of my videos when I showed a Robin Roberts Hall of Fame plaque talked about the quality of the autograph that a lot of the old timers had. In that case, it was Robin Roberts I was talking about. But here's a great autograph, Johnny Mize. You can see all the letters, and there's so many guys in that era that their autograph is outstanding. And sometimes today, the more modern player, you see maybe a first letter and a second letter, and that is it. But that's how we start today, the then part. Now let's get to the now. We had a lot of returns last week. We had so many, in fact, the ones we got on Saturday, I'm saving for next week's episode. So let's take a look. So here is a great stack of returns from the middle part of last week. I believe like Tuesday through Friday. We have 12. So let's go. It's Tampa, Florida, where we get started. And our first is a Garth Orge. Garth Orge in the 84 and the 88. Now, I had sent to Garth a while back and never got it back. And I know Garth has been a good signer for folks. So I said, let me try again. And I believe, pretty certain, based on the stamp that I used, that this is one from the second round of sending. So that first one may be out there somewhere. But Garth Orge with a couple a nice baseball cards in blue ink to get us going. North Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is next up. And we have Toby Harrah. A couple of 78s, Toby Harrah. Very nice. Of course, Toby Harrah. I learned the word palindrome because of the last name Harrah. Toby Harrah. And it turns out my first name, Bob, is also a palindrome. So there you go. A double. So that may or may not be trade bait. I sent out 2 on purpose. I have an idea for a blind trade coming up. So if you're somebody that collects 78s, maybe you're the guy I'm thinking about. Shane Conlon, as this is out of Pittsburgh, PA. Wow. I like those autographs on the pro set, the upper deck. Big black, nice ink on that Shane Conlon. And then this next one is a 91 score, also black ink. So Shane Conlon coming through. Of course, a Penn Stater that had a great pro career as well. Metroplex, Michigan. And we have Paul Noce. Another 88 tops get, Paul Noce. And we'll use a first stand of the day here. Paul Noce on the 88 tops. Louisville, Kentucky is next up, and I have a note. So let's look at the card first, then we will look at the note. It is Joe Hamilton, ABA player for the Chaparrals. They became the Spurs, and this is the Kentucky Colonels. He played for them, I believe, in this 74 year, which is what this set is from. And he was cut after like 9 games of that season, but Joe Hamilton, a great, guy from the ABA days. And look at this cool note. Mr. Bob, thanks so much. Stay safe, healthy, and stay strong. Bless you, Joe Hamilton, on a Snoopy notepad. Awesome. I love when the players write you a little note, especially he did that on his own piece of paper. He didn't just write on my note. So that is awesome. Here I see another note on this one from Carroll Stream, Illinois. First, let's look at the cards. We have a pair, I think, and it is Brian Baschnagel. All right, Brian Baschnagel, an Ohio Stater, played for the Bears, and we have 3. And I remember pulling these cards, right? We got the 80 down here, and this card, the top one, like he's getting ready to hold for a kick, right? How cool is that? You don't see a pose like that very often. And I just thought that was cool. So Brian Baschnagel, a triple return. And let's unfold the note here for you. So he wrote on the back of mine, "No problem, Bob. Thanks for asking, Brian." So that is just so great. I write a personal note. I try to find something personal about it. And, talking about he changed from offense to defense in his time in the NFL. And you don't see it that often anymore. And I write something about how I collect cards, and these are from my personal collection. So a nice return from Mr. Brian Baschnagel on our second nice personal note. Cincinnati, Ohio. And we have Bob Trumpy. So I talked about when I got Bob Costas, and then we got Dan Fouts, this pro set that had the announcers. And I just think it's so cool. You've heard me mention that I'm a part-time announcer. I've done it for a long time, but in a part-time role, and I just have always been in tune to the announcers. And Bob Trumpy, certainly a player of some note in his own right, but then went on to be a great announcer. San Diego, California. And Tom House on the 3x5 card. And these 78 cards I did not send out all that long ago, so to get some returns back in a hurry. So a double from Tom House on the 78 and a 3x5 card. So Tom House was a relief pitcher, pitched for a couple of teams, Mariners, Red Sox, and one other one, I believe. But then went on to be a bit of a pitching coach guru. And when he hooked up with Nolan Ryan in Texas, Nolan Ryan's career really continued further on as far as years. And he brought in some techniques like throwing a football. And then a fellow you may have heard of by the name of Randy Johnson met up with Tom House and Nolan Ryan. And that changed the trajectory of Randy Johnson's pitching career. There's no doubt about it. He talks about it at length. So how cool is that? Jeff Sellers, an 87 and an 88 black ink is next up. So let's put Jeff down here. We'll move Tom House over there. Trying to get it all in to fit. We can't get it all. So we'll do the best we can. So let's get Jeff Sellers. We'll look at Tom House. We have a couple of more. This is Cleveland, Ohio. Mike Birkbeck in thick blue ink. So a nice 88 tops for the collection. Mike Birkbeck. So our 88, I feel like there's been a little less of late working on the 88 set, but that's a nice, a couple of 88s today we have. And this is Phoenix, Arizona. Easy, easy. Phoenix, Arizona. Bobby Knopp on a 3x5 card. There's Bobby Knopp. And let's see what we sent Bobby. Some vintage. 68. Cool blue autograph on that 68. Let's put him right in here. And Bobby Knopp on the 67. So cool. Does I have that right? The 67. And Phoenix, Arizona will be our last get for the day on a really fine set of returns. And Rick Smits. Rick Smits. I sent 3. I got back 2. We're happy to have these 2. Rick Smits, I think, really warmed the hearts of TTMers when he posted on the 4 Sports, the TTM 4 Sports TTM site, talking about how he was on vacation, folks, and he got back and he's going to send back out to you. So, Rick Smits, and I think maybe I did send the 2 because he charges 5 per. So I'm just thinking back to what I did. So I got them all back. Rick Smits, $5 per, but a great signer. He changes houses, so I sent it to the Arizona or the fall and winter household. And there you have it in thick blue ink. Of course, Rick Smits with the Pacers on the Fleer and the NBA Hoops cards. So that just closes out a really fine amount of returns today, featuring baseball, football, basketball. We have ABA, NBA. We have vintage. We have some junk era, some of my 1988 tops that we're looking for. We got a pitching guru. We have an announcer, a former player. All cool stuff. How great. So that's our get for this episode now 43. And we're so glad you were along for the ride. So please hit like. That helps us. Hit subscribe. That really helps us. We're building the channel every day. And more importantly, tell a friend. So share. And I would love the comments. Please let me know which one you thought was the coolest return that I got today. Or maybe tell me someone that you're going after that you want to see get back. And I'll be subscribing to your channel if you have it, because I love seeing what you guys are doing as well. So until next time, as we say, farewell.